A warm welcome to everyone to this online lecture course on communication engineering. I am Ramji, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at GCE Tanjavur. Today we will be discussing about what is sampling, why sampling is important in communication system, what is quantization, what are the types of quantization, what is pulse amplitude modulation, then how it is generated. Let's start with what is sampling. There are many advantages in digital communication. Encryption, compression, detection, correction, filtering, multiplexing, all the techniques are flexible and easy to design. So if we go on digital communication, first we have to convert all the analog signal into digital signal. So if you want to convert any analog signal into digital signal, sampling is one of the process. Sampling is a process of taking samples from continuous time signal. Is there any rule or theorem we have to follow? Yes, there is a theorem. The theorem is called sampling theorem. It tells that a continuous time signal x of t can be converted into its samples and can be recovered back without any distortion when sampling frequency fs is at least twice the maximum frequency of continuous time signal. That is, f is greater than or equal to 2 in dfm, where fs is the maximum frequency of fs is the sampling frequency and fm is the maximum frequency of the continuous time signal. That means if you want to take a sample from the continuous time signal, first we have to set the sampling frequency based on the maximum frequency of the continuous time signal. Then from the sampling frequency, we have to find out the sampling period. And from the sampling period, we can identify how many samples we can take. For example, I am taking one continuous time signal with a maximum frequency fm equal to 2 kHz. Then for this 2 kHz, I am going to set the sampling frequency fs is 4 kHz or more than 4 kHz. Here I am setting fs is 4 kHz. If fs is 4 kHz means then ts is a sampling period, ts is equal to 1 by fs. So 1 by 4 kHz is equal to 0.25 millisecond. That means we have to take the samples from the continuous time signal for every 0.25 millisecond to avoid any distortion or data loss. Next, what is low pass sampling? The sampling is done in low pass signal, that is called low pass sampling. What is low pass signal? Practically any audio signal, if you take any audio signal, it is having many frequencies. If the lowest frequency or the minimum frequency is 0 means that signal is called low pass signal. Then we are going to prove the sampling theorem, that is fs greater than or equal to 2 in dfm. We take two parts. First one is representation part, that is the conversion from analog to sample. The second part is reconstruction from sample to analog. If we take the representation part, so this is x of t signal, our message signal. This is x del of t, it is sampled signal. The mathematical equation of sampled signal is x del of t equal to summation n equal to minus infinity x of t del of t minus nts. Its del of t minus nts is a train of impulse signal. If we multiply x of t and del of t, we can get this x del of t. So mathematically we can write the sampled signal as x del of t. Then for understanding, we have to convert this time domain signal into frequency domain. So take Fourier transform. We can get x del of f equal to f is summation n equal to minus infinity x of f minus n of s. If you expand this equation, you can get this. If the sampling frequency is f is equal to 2w means, substitute here, if f is equal to 2w means, we can get one mathematical equation. For the mathematical equations, if you draw the graphical representation, it will be like this. So here you can see there is no overlap between high frequency and the low frequency spectrum when we take f is equal to 2w. So the condition is if f is equal to 2w, there will be no data loss, no distortion. In the case of reconstruction, that is from sample to analog, we have the sampled equations. From the sampled signal, apply discrete time Fourier transform, we get x del of f and x of f. From this x of f, apply inverse Fourier transform, we can get what is x of t, that is equal to ift of 1 by fs summation n equal to minus infinity infinity x of nts e power minus j 2 pi fn nts. Apply ift, can get x of t equal to summation n equal to minus infinity infinity x of nts sin pi 2 wt minus 2 w nts divided by pi into fst minus fs into nts. So in reconstruction part, we apply the same condition fs equal to 2w, hence ts equal to 1 by fs, that is equal to 1 by 2w. Substitute this in x of t. So x of t equal to summation n equal to minus infinity infinity x of nts sin pi 2 wt minus n divided by pi into 2 wt minus n. Here the equation like is sin pi theta by pi theta, so we can put sin theta equal to sin pi theta by pi theta. So expanding, we get the equations. Here we have the infinite number of sinc pulses. So this infinite number of sinc pulses are passed to low pass filter to get the smooth x of t, that is exact replica of actual message signal. So in the reconstruction part also, if we take fs equal to 2w, there will be no data loss and no distortion. If we take fs less than 2w, what will happen? So if we take fs less than 2w, we can have a graphical representation. Here we have there is an overlapping between high frequency spectrum and the low frequency spectrum. This overlapping or distortion is called aliasing. So aliasing effect takes place when the sampling frequency is less than the Nyquist, that is fs less than 2w. Under such conditions, the spectrum of sampled signal overlaps with itself. Hence, high frequencies take the form of lower frequencies. This interference of the frequency components is called as aliasing effect. How to avoid this aliasing effect? Aliasing effect can be avoided if sampling frequency must be greater than the frequency of the modulating signal, and frequency should be band limited to maximum frequency of the signal by using anti-aliasing filter. Next one is, what is quantization? Quantization is the process of mapping the different amplitude values into a finite set of known values. After sampling, we have different amplitudes. To encode all the different amplitudes, it is not possible. So we have to convert all the amplitude into finite set of known values. That process is called quantization. So how to quantize all the samples? Assume we have samples with the amplitude range from minus 20 volt to plus 20 volt. So for this, set a quantization level capital L equal to 8. So by using this quantization level and Vmax and Vminimum, we can find out the zone width or step size, that is 5. So there are 8 zones: minus 20 to minus 15, minus 15 to minus 10, minus 10 to minus 5, minus 5 to 0, 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. And there are 8 midpoints: minus 17.5, minus 12.5, minus 7.5, minus 2.5, 2.5, 7.5, 12.5, 17.5. So if any samples between minus 20 to minus 15 means it is converted into a finite value, that is minus 7.5. If any sample from plus 15 to actual and coded value is referred as quantization error. We can minimize a quantization error by increasing the zones and decrease the step size. There are two types of quantization: uniform quantization or linear, non-uniform quantization or non-linear. What is linear quantization? If the step size is fixed or the difference between two quantization levels remains constant over a complete amplitude range. There are two types of uniform quantization, mid-rate and mid-rise quantization. In the case of mid-rate quantizer, if the input value is from -5 to 5, then for this the output is assigned to 0. The input value is from 0.5 to 1.5, then the output is assigned to 1. In the case of mid-rise quantizer, if the input value is from 0 to 1, the output is assigned to 0.5. And the input value is from 1 to 2, the output value is assigned to 1.5. Next, what is pulse amplitude modulation? Pulse amplitude modulation is a process in which the amplitude of the pulse carrier signal is changed in accordance with the analog modulating signal. So there is a modulating signal and there is a pulse carrier signal. The amplitude of the pulse carrier is changed according to the amplitude of the modulating signal. So there is a PAM signal. How this PAM is generated? By using sample and hold circuit, we can generate a pulse amplitude modulated signal. So based on the operation of sampling switch and discharge switch, we can get the PAM signal. Here X of t is our continuous time signal. It is given to the sample and hold circuit. So based on the sampling switch and discharge switch, we can get the PAM signal. So at the sampling instant, sampling switch is closed for a very small period. So in that period, the capacitor is going to charge. Then the sampling switch is open and the discharge switch is closed. The capacitor is going to discharge. So based on the charging and discharging, we can get this flat top PAM signal. The next lecture we will be discussing about what are the different types of line coding techniques. Thank you.